Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and champions everywhere in the world of NXT and 205 Live. There's titles changing left, right and centre. There's loads of stuff to go through. I knew I didn't want to do an NXT 205 Live review until the NXT Japan show had happened, and that was last night. So now I think we can sit down and do a good recap of everything. Let's start with 205 Live. It's the new Cruiserweight show. It's filmed live after SmackDown and shown on the network. I think this is going to be good for them. We got an introduction to everybody at the start. They were all at the top of the ramp. And we get the Bollywood Boys come out first, and they're up against Gulak and Tony Nese. Good match. I think the Bollywood Boys looked good. Obviously, we just don't know what they're going to do with like a tag division, so I don't really get, you know, who they're going to be competing against and what they're going to be competing for. They said that their dream is to become WWE Tag Team Champions. You know, is that possible? I don't know. I don't know how it all kind of fits together. But it was decent. I was certainly entertained. Bollywood Boys pick up the victory. We got to learn a little bit more about Noam Dar and a little bit about Lindsay Dorado, but in all fairness, if you'd watched the CWC, it's nothing new. And then we got a fantastic match. Jack Gallagher against Arya Davari. Gallagher just had the crowd in the palm of his hand, man. You know, he's doing some fantastic stuff. Again, spots that we'd seen in the CWC. That one where he ties the guy up and then walks away. Not a massive fan of it. I don't know if that works. I don't know if you can tie someone up to the point where they can't get out. It looks silly, but if it's a legitimate hold that works in the real world, then I'm totally into it. But I don't know, the jury's still out on that one. But he was doing some fantastic stuff, you know. He's got a very different style of wrestling, and it's I love it. And then we get to the main event, and that is Rich Swann against Brian Kendrick for the title. Really good match this was. Few sliced bread attempts, which Rich Swann kicked out of. 3 spinning heel kicks. Lay Brian Kendrick out. Rich Swann, the brand new Cruiserweight champion, absolutely brilliant. And such a heartfelt moment afterwards where he's talking about his mom and dedicates it to his mom, and it's like, really nice. I thought it was a great way to kick off the first show. The first show, you know, it wasn't amazing by any standards. It's not like, guys, you've got to drop everything you're doing. You need to watch 205 Live. And right, call me slow, right? Don't call me slow. You can call me slow. But I couldn't figure out, right, why it was called 205 Live. As silly as that sounds, I was like, is that some kind of postcode? Or why is it 205 Live? And then it dawned on me, didn't it? That's the weight limit. That's how much. You can't weigh any more than 205 pounds. And the show is live. 205 Live. Makes perfect sense. Well done, WWE. Couple of other observations. One, I think they could do with a general manager. I think that Daniel Bryan brings a lot to SmackDown. I think Mick Foley maybe doesn't, but sure, Steph does, as a commissioner kind of role. William Regal, I think, brings a lot to NXT. And I just think that this could do with someone or something, just as, you know, to glue it all together. And the other one, Austin Aries. Austin Aries was on commentary. What? But yeah, he was there, and he's talking about when he's ready, he's going for that Cruiserweight title, and that is not how I expected them to use Austin Aries going forward. How long is he going to be in that for? I don't know. I can't figure out yet how it all fits together, but lots of questions, lots of intrigue. I'm on board with it. Now let's talk about NXT. So there's 2 parts to NXT. What was shown on Wednesday, and then the Japanese Osaka show from last night. So on Wednesday we had Asuka against Nicole Matthews. Asuka wins with the Asuka lock, stands over Nicole, holding that belt above her head. More kind of like heel kind of work from Asuka. And at this stage, you really have to ask who is there for her to compete against. I mean, even if she gets called up, yes, there's Sasha, yes, there's Charlotte, but Asuka's already destroyed Bayley twice, so I don't see like much of a challenge for her. I honestly would consider putting her in the Royal Rumble. I think she's got enough about her that she could be there or thereabouts. You know, I could see her having a very competitive match against the likes of The Miz. I could. I'm not even lying. I could. So I would start to just explore that. That's what I would do. WWE probably won't, 'cause they won't want to do intergender matches, but we have seen it in like Lucha Underground, and well, we've seen it before in other promotions. I saw, and this is a proper tangent, right, but I saw a video on YouTube where it was Johnny Gargano going up against his wife in like a proper wrestling match, and they've been doing this for a long time, but I've only just got around to watching one of them. Man, they pull no punches. Like, he proper kicks her in the face. It was amazing. It was amazing, and like, she was victorious in the one that I saw, and she looked every bit as good as Johnny did. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I would explore that. Then we get a backstage bit with Ty Dillinger slapping Samoa Joe, saying that he wants to go up against the best and gives him a reason to do that, and it worked. Joe grants him the match, so that's the main event for the show. We get No Way Jose against Eric Young. Eric Young comes out, and I don't understand, right? He's Sanity, he's part of this group. He's like some kind of like gang member, but he comes out and then like takes his clothes off and then gets down to this like Xena warrior princess like ring attire. It's just like, it doesn't fit what I interpret his character to be. So yeah, it was weird. This was an alright match, and basically Eric Young wins because of a distraction from Nikki Cross, and she also delivered a massive drop kick from the top turnbuckle. Absolutely brilliant. Nikki Cross is really coming through now as, you know, a key part of that group. We're not seeing much of Fulton and Sawyer, but we are seeing a lot of Eric Young and a lot of Nikki Cross. And then we get the main event, Joe against Dillinger. This was brilliant. Ty Dillinger did himself proud. It was a great match, really enjoyed it. One of my favourite matches of the week. And basically he passes out in that submission hold, doesn't give up or anything, looks really dejected after. But I think that's the right way to go, and I'm really interested to see what they're doing with Ty Dillinger at the moment. You know, what's in store for him. I don't know what's left for him in NXT other than, you know, competing for the title, and that's kind of what he just did on this show, and he came up short. So we'll have to see. But then Japan last night. This is full of spoilers, so if you don't want to know, I mean, it has been announced. They are going to show highlights on NXT, I think next week. Well, they're going to have to. But if you don't want any spoilers, step away now. One Logan beat Almas. CN Almas. They're really hot on One, aren't they? I think we saw him on SmackDown the other week as well. I've said before, he reminds me a lot of like Cesaro mixed with Skinner. It's really weird, but they're hot on him. The Revival beat Riddick Moss and Tino Sabatelli, who we're starting to see a lot more of. I mean, Sabatelli kind of made a bit of a name of himself on Breaking Ground, the network special show, and we're starting to see a lot more of him coming through. Billie Kay and Peyton Royce beat Aaliyah and Liv Morgan. Ty Dillinger gets a big victory in a triple threat over Elias Samson and Bobby Roode. Now, I've not seen how this finishes. I'm guessing Dillinger gets the pin on Samson, because they're not going to want Bobby Roode to look weak at this stage, but that's a good result for Ty Dillinger. Regal was then in the ring having a chat with Hideo, who, you know, promised the Japanese fans that he would be there, and he obviously doesn't disappoint. Asuka picks up a huge victory over Nia Jax, and this is what I'm saying. Who else is there left for Asuka to go up against? They've already had to bring in Mickie James. They might have to bring back others, but I'd be interested in her against Charlotte, her against Sasha, but I don't know. I honestly would start exploring her going up against some of the guys. Hashtag DIY. Oh, how about this for cool? Beat Tajiri, who I thought he was done and gone. But beat Tajiri and Akira Tozawa. Now, we've not seen Akira Tozawa yet on 205 Live or on Raw. Have we? We might have seen him once. But he is one to watch. He is one to watch. I cannot wait for him to really get going. I really want them to sign Kota Ibushi. I don't think they would use him in 205 Live though, because he is main event. So yeah, I'd love it if they did, but yeah, I bet that was a fantastic match. And then the big one, I don't need my notes for this. Shinsuke Nakamura is once again the NXT champion. He beat Samoa Joe last night in Japan, in front of his countrymen and countrywomen. I bet it was an amazing moment. I mean, I've seen clips of him after the match, but I just imagine the atmosphere and everything just be. I can't wait to see it. But it was a Kinshasa. I still stumble on that, right? Don't judge me. Yeah, he wins it with that, and yeah, once again, you kind of have to look at it now and go, right, who is there left for Joe? Where does Joe go from here? Is he going to go into another program for the title? Because he's been doing that all year against Balor and then against Nakamura. It's time for Joe to move on. Joe needs to go main roster. I would put Joe. Well, it's difficult, isn't it? Because Joe needs to be in the Rumble, and I would probably put him on Raw or throw him in 205 Live. I don't think he'll make the weight cut, but it doesn't matter, that could be a bit of fun. So yeah, absolutely awesome. Loads of stuff that's gone on with 205 Live and NXT. I think we've kind of scratched the surface there, but new Cruiserweight champion Rich Swann, new NXT champion in Shinsuke Nakamura, so many congratulations to both of those. And I think that's everything. So if you like the video, please give it a like, hit the subscribe if you haven't already, and hopefully I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.